Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Very dear students, I am here with you with the topic of journal writing under the heading of extended writing in the syllabus of English First Language IGCSE 0500 syllabus. So, the first thing which I want to remind you about this question is that it's a compulsory question and it's a very important and at the same time tricky question which you must not miss to revise because it's an important question and it carries 25 marks. It's the highest, you can say, worthy question which carries the maximum number of marks. So, as far as the division of the marks is concerned, there are 15 marks for the content of your answer and 15 and 10 marks for the quality of your writing. This is how the marks of 25 will be divided. This question plays a significant role in determining your overall grade because, as I have told you, that in the whole paper of IGCSE 0500, there is no one individual question which carries this much marks. So you have to pay special heed to this question and prepare for it accordingly. As far as the types of this question are concerned, there are 6 types which are included in your syllabus. Main heading is extended writing and the subheadings are number 1, diary or journal writing. One thing that you need to keep in mind very clearly that journal writing and diary writing are the same thing. If you get the word journal, it means diary. If you get the word diary, it means journal. So this is the first topic that we will be discussing in detail in today's lecture, and the remaining types names have also been displayed in front of you so that we can prepare them accordingly in our next coming videos. So let's first look at the reading assessment objectives because you know that if we will prepare ourselves according to a proper method, then we will not have any, you can say, misunderstanding. We will not have any doubts in our minds as to how the examiner is going to check our question. That we should be very clearly noting in our minds. So basically, you know that there are 3 reading assessment objectives which are used in this question. The first deals with the explicit meaning of things. Explicit meaning you have already discussed and attempted in text A also, which deals with the surfacey meaning of things, the vivid, the clear meaning. And next, second is the implicit meaning, which is called demonstrating understanding of implicit meanings and attitudes. Implicit means hidden or inferential, or you can say below the surface meanings. And the third reading assessment objective which is used in this question is analysis, evaluation, and development of facts, ideas, and opinions using appropriate support from the text, meaning that you take relevant support from the text and then you evaluate those ideas and develop them according to the requirement of your question. As far as extended writing is concerned, basically it deals with all these 3 reading assessment objectives. We will be talking in detail as we move forward. Now let's look at the writing assessment objectives. They are 5 which you are going to use in every question, whether it is journal, whether it is letter, report, speech, whatever the type is. The first writing assessment objective is articulate experience. Articulate means express, and express meaning you should be able to express very clearly whatever is in your thoughts, whatever is in your feelings and in your imagination. If the candidate is able to express his thoughts and feelings clearly onto the paper, that will be the first writing assessment objective fulfillment. The second is organization and structure of ideas and opinions for deliberate effect. As far as the structure and organization of this question is concerned, it's a very simple structure in the sense that there are only 3 bullet points and only 3 paragraphs. This is the major structure of this question. No matter that there are slight deviation in some types, but the basic structure is the same which I have mentioned before you, that is 3 paragraphs meaning 3 bullet points. Next writing assessment objective is a variety of vocabulary or a range of vocabulary, and at the same time sentence structure should also be varied. This is a you can say requirement which you have to fulfill whether you are attempting letter or speech or whatever the type, because Cambridge does not want repetitive starters at the start of sentences until and unless you are using a specific technique like rhetorical question, or while you are making a speech, then you have to repeat for a specific purpose. Otherwise, variation of sentence structure and vocabulary is a much appreciated task which you have to fulfill in any case. And the fourth writing assessment objective is appropriate register. This is also very, very important. Register means tone, whether you will be formal or you will be informal. This is something that you have to determine at the beginning of the question, so that there is no mistake of tone, because this will spoil your whole message of communication. And the last point, also important, and it has a short acronym which you can remember, is SPG, meaning spellings and grammar and punctuation. They should be accurate in any case, even if you are writing an informal piece, just like journal writing, which we will be talking in detail. Your these three things should be accurate, because the examiner is not going to compromise in the reading or writing assessment objectives. Now let's look at the requirement of this question in detail. The first thing is, when answering question 3, these are the most important thing that you need to consider. First of all, the length of the 3 bullet points should be equal. This is the first thing that you have to remember. Don't start counting the number of words. The basic thing that you have to remember is the space analysis. That, for example, if you spent more than half the page on answering the first bullet point, similar space should be utilized in answering second bullet point, and similarly the third bullet point. One of the major mistake that the students do in answering extended writing is that they write very short answer for the third bullet point. And remember that this is the most crucial bullet point of the whole question, because it deals with implicit meaning of things. Here the examiner wants to see your deeper analysis of things, whether you can develop the ideas accurately or not. So please pay heed special to this point and this aspect of the question, that the length of the 3 bullet points should be equal. One formula that you can apply in order to make it equal is that you should find 5 content points per bullet point. When there will be 5 content points in each bullet point, it is possible that when you will develop them and when you will express them in your own word, the length would also be the same. No introduction or conclusion is required for interview writing, and even for report writing, there is no introduction or conclusion required. But as far as journal writing is concerned, there is a slight, you can say, brief introduction as well, at the same time, one way to close it, which I will mention. Last bullet point is often more implicit. Already I have told you 4 to 5 or 4 to 6 it has been written, but my recommendation is that you should write 5 bullet points, 5 content points per bullet point. Don't copy anything directly from the text, because you have to do paraphrasing, not word to word. Not that you should be looking for the synonym of each and every word, but as much as you possibly can, rephrase it in your own words. Vary your vocabulary, punctuation, and sentencing. Check your SPAG. Include details: who, what, where, and how. These 2 points, you can say that inclusion of details will be done in the first 2 bullet points. More importantly, and as far as the including of development is concerned, this deals with the implicit meaning of things, and this is to be done more prominently in the third bullet point. But remember that all the bullet points, all the content points have to be developed, not that you will develop only the last bullet point. You have to develop all your ideas equally and responsibly. Now let's look at the steps for question number 3. First of all, you have to read the question very carefully. And at the same time, text C you will read carefully. Remember, you are reading text C around third time, because once you read it while you were attempting vocabulary question, then you reread it while you were doing 2D, which was also a language analysis question, but of a deeper level. and now it is the third time that you are doing text series reading. So you should have ample analysis of the content of the text, and you should be able to develop very clear opinion of your character, whose voice you are going to adopt in this answer. First thing that you should write on your question paper, or you can say on your answer, will be the acronym which I have mentioned in front of you, is that is FAPVTR. This is the acronym. This is a short, you can say, name for this large thing which has been written before you. That is F stands for format. Here the format that we are going to talk about will be journal writing. Audience, that to whom we will write this diary, who will read it, will it be shared only with us, will it remain only with us, or will it be publicized? Obviously most of the diaries remain personal document. Then P stands for purpose. Why we are writing this? Mostly the purpose of writing the diary is to do confession, those things which we can't speak out largely with the larger audience. So then we write them in our diary. That is the major purpose of diary writing, to inform and at the same time to confess, or to do some, you can say, catharsis of your feelings. Mostly the diaries are written for this purpose. Then the V is standing for voice. In this question, the major thing which makes extended writing different from directed writing is the voice, because in directed writing mostly you speak in your own voice, but in extended writing you will adopt the voice of the character which Cambridge has asked you to adopt, because the first wording of the question will be you are Benson, you are Edgar, you are grandfather, or whatever character the Cambridge has assigned you, whatever role the Cambridge has assigned you. So you will speak in the voice of that character. The next point is tone and register. They are the same thing. That is also very important. In none of the types you have to be extremely formal or extremely informal. Always try to create a balance in your tone and in your audience, because if you are extremely informal, there are fears that you might become, you can say, slangy. You might start using mobile texting language. You might start using expressions like OMG, gonna, wanna, and something like that. So this will, you can say, spoil your writing as well as reading objectives. And obviously your tone will be spoiled, your purpose will be spoiled, and this will create a lot of damage, god forbids, for you. So you have to be, you can say, you can be chatty, you can be communicational, you can be colloquial, you can talk in certain types like in speech and even in journal writing, but don't use slangs. That is an ultimate, you can say, command or request or advice from my side. In any of the types, you are not supposed to use slangs. The next thing is, as I have told you, that read the first bullet point and locate 5 pieces of information which we call content points, which are related to the focus of the question. For example, they may ask you that how did you see, yeah, what did you see at that place? So whatever you saw at that place, 4 to 5 points you will gather about that. Then second bullet point, and the same process of finding out 5 content points. You will not reproduce those content points in the same words. You will use your own words. You will try to make them short. You will try to develop them simultaneously. The content point and the development will move simultaneously, not that there will be a separate paragraph of development. Everything has to be done simultaneously, because that is the criteria for A star. If the student just will mention the content points in their own words, and if they will not develop them, there are fears that you will end up in getting C or B in this question, maximum B, normally C. And if you want to score A star in this question, the best thing that you have to do is that the 3 bullet points should have equal length. And secondly, the development point should not be missed. Development means that if some point has been mentioned, how would you comment upon that? Or for example, you would say that if the character misbehaved with someone, you are going to infer that why did he do that. That is called development. There are some more examples we will share. Then read the third bullet point and follow the same procedure. This is more technical because it is an implicit bullet point. You might not find 5 content points for this answer. You might get, for example, 2 to 3 remaining. You will infer yourself. Might be you get the content point, but the development is something that you have to do totally on your own. Sometimes the examiner even asks for suggestions or for improvement areas in this bullet point. So most of the things are done independently and individually by the candidate in the third bullet point. That is the most, you can say, tricky part of the question. First of all, write your piece using an appropriate style. What is the style of journal writing? It's neither too informal and nor it is too formal. It's, you can say, a medium way of communication. You have to use, you can use contractions, you can use chatty language, you can use, you can say, short forms, but you cannot use slangs. That is something to be totally avoided. Use a range of typical and stylistic features. Some of the details of the stylistic features is going to be shared in the next slides. Use effective vocabulary and sentence structure even if you are adopting a semi-formal tone. Don't compromise on these two things. That is vocabulary, which should be effective, and sentence structure should be varied. Not very difficult vocabulary because you are in a confessional mood, you are talking to yourself, you are expressing your feelings in a quiet mood to yourself. So you don't have to be verbose in your expression. Make sure quotes are reworded, meaning they are expressed in your own words, but with a pinch of salt, meaning excessively, you will not be looking for the synonym of each and every word, but the main idea must be expressed in your own words. And then develop each content point relevantly. Now let's see what is basically a journal. A journal is something which allows people to share their thoughts and feelings because it is a medium of communication where the person talks to himself, where he expresses whatever he wants to express, and he thinks that it is his personal document and it is meant for his own catharsis. This is the medium of communication. It often includes a date, rather, it should include a date. As far as the pattern of Cambridge is concerned, you will start with date in journal writing. Then it's a self-reflective kind of communication. It will be written in first person voice. For example, if your question asks you that you are Edgar and you have to write the diary about some topic, then Edgar will write the diary, but Edgar will talk in the first person. This is the style of, you can say, communicating it. So the next thing that you have to keep in mind while writing journal, that there should be a chronological approach, meaning first come first, first things first, meaning that the order of things is not supposed to be changed. One thing that you need to remember about journals are that they are informal type of writing, but don't make them extremely informal by using slangs. The language can be colloquial and creative, and mostly journals are written in the past tense because you write about the incidents which have taken place. So, preferably past tense, but there are certain comments which you would like to utter in your diary that can be expressed in the present tense. I'm going to share an example of that. Let's look at the stylistic features of journal writing. Number one, I have told you that you can use colloquial language. Colloquial language means the one that you use while talking. Informal, slightly informal, not extremely informal, and chatty. Chatty as if you are talking, oh, well, such kind of fillers you have to add in order to make it a chatty or an informal expression. For example, the fillers of well, I mean, so, such kind of word, and you can start your sentence with and. Then you can use hyperbole. Hyperbole means exaggerated version of things. You know, when we are talking, so we exaggerate things. For example, a teacher or a mother can ask her daughter or her son that I have told you million times to clean your room. For example, you know, this is you can say a colloquial sentence which I have uttered before you, or I have a ton of homework to do. Again, this is a chatty language. You can also add a little bit of humor or sarcasm. But if it is done excessively, it is going to spoil the tone. It is going to make it more informal. So don't overdo a technique. Light-hearted way में, if you want to add humor, that you can do a few idioms, maximum 3 in the whole of attempt. What idiom that you are well familiar of as far as the meanings are concerned. If you think that you are going to create a trouble by adding idioms, so better avoid them. So never do use a technique which you are not expert of. But I think using 3 idioms at your level will not be a difficult thing. A few examples I have shared before you. Some of the idioms, are very similar to proverbs. So you can already, maybe you remember them already. Birds of a feather flock together. All of you know about it. Hitting the nail on the head, meaning pointing out the right things or dealing the thing or tackling the things very, very tactfully. This idiom is used for that purpose. Any 3 idioms which fit into the context of your answer. Rhetorical questions. This is very, very common technique. You have used them in speech writing. As per even mentioning the purpose of magazine article, I suggested you to use rhetorical question in that. So you are to use them even in journal writing. Another technique which I have mentioned before you is that is hypophora. Excuse me, as you know that rhetorical question is something which does not require an answer. But hypophora is a technique which requires an answer, and it gives a very clear answer. Repetition and emotive language both can be used in journal writing depending upon the context. If your character is emotive or if he uses emotive language in your answer, then you are also supposed to use it 2 to 3 times. You can repeat certain words of the rhetorical question as you have done in the previous styles. And the same thing is with regard to emotive language. Now, this is the question that we are going to discuss. Imagine you are a student and you are preparing for your exam, just as you are in your current situation that all of you have to appear for your exam. Write a journal describing how you are feeling. So you should write about the 3 bullet points which I have shared before you: the academic pressures, thoughts and feelings. Okay, imagine you are a student who is preparing for his exams and you have to write a journal describing your feelings. I have made a question, you can say, in order to understand the type as well as the context as attempt the task very, very easily. So these are the 3 bullet points which are in front of you on the screen. Number one, the academic pressures that you are facing. What are your thoughts and feelings about exams and how you would change the way schools operate if given the chance? Now, you see, this is a totally implicit bullet point. It means that you have to imagine that if you are given the chance, what changes you can bring to the way the schools operate regarding the situation of exams. So this is an implicit and inferential question. You have to answer all the 3 bullet points in equal length. Now you see this is the text of the bullet point which I have shared before you, which the text for the journal writing. We are going to read it so that you can have an analysis of the language being used in the text. Obviously, in the exam, you might get a text which is having a little bit more difficult language than this. But the point was to understand that such simple kind of ideas are to be rephrased in journal writing. For young people today, pressures are in plentiful supply. These come in the form of academic pressures, social pressures, and economic pressures. And often we cruelly create even worse anxieties upon ourselves. Take academic pressures, for example. We are constantly bombarded by stress from all sides. Teachers telling us to work harder, parents telling us to do better, older siblings telling us how well they did at school, making us feel that we are worthless in comparison. It's soul destroying. Revising for exam whilst trying to get enough sleep, drink 8 glasses of water a day, eat 5 portions of fruit and veggie, and have some kind of social life is challenging enough without constantly being made to feel inadequate compared to others. My older brother seemed to have forgotten that 40% of his science grade came from coursework, work he was able to edit and improve with the help of his teachers. Teenagers today have no such opportunity. We are on our own in an exam hall, everything riding on one test, one day, on one day. Doesn't seem fair, does it? So, you see, this was the text for journal writing. Common mistakes with the students too. Number one, they lose a lot of marks every year because they lift words and phrases from the original text. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember, that don't do lifting. Don't do lifting. Okay, your job is to transform the words of the text into your own words by using an appropriate style, by using an appropriate tone. However, it is not enough to do just this. You should also make suitable development for each quotation you use. This is the most important point that you have to remember and act upon. You may find yourself inferring a lot for the last bullet point, that is the third bullet point. Now, here is the sample. After a long talk from my side, the sample is in front of you. I will be sharing one more sample at the end of the video, which you have to read. You see, it starts with the date 7th March, for example, 2024. Dear diary, this is how you have to address you, because you are talking to yourself. Do you know what's particularly tough when you are young? So you converted the first bullet point into a rhetorical question. You see how these changes have been done? Trying to juggle this crazy thing called life with school. You see the word juggle, it creates an informal tone. Here I am again. Semicolon, no, colon. You see, the punctuation is high. When the language is simple, punctuation should be high. Burning the midnight oil. This is an idiom, so that I won't crumble on the day of my exam. The word crumble is also to be highlighted because this also creates a semi formal tone and touch in your answer. Now you see the rhetorical question is there. Do I feel confident? Absolutely not. You see, this is the example of hypophora. The rhetorical question along with the answer. This is not a rhetorical question, this is hypophora. I don't know what to feel anymore. The strain is getting unbearable. Again, you see, in one sentence, two independent clauses have been joined with the help of a semicolon. So, language, if it is simple, the punctuation marks should be high. And this also creates the touch of emotive language in your answer. Strain that is exacerbated by my overly supportive parents. I am just a lazy teen in their eyes. I am also getting really sick to the back teeth of my teachers telling me to put more effort into my work. I have been knuckling down for what seems like forever. You see, constantly you find the emotive language, the idiomatic expression, the rhetorical questions, some with the answers as well. But if you think that this is too much, you can't do so much. So my advice is that spread them in your answer. There should be three idioms. There can be two to three rhetorical questions, maybe some with the answers and some without the answers. There might be some emotive expressions. So you don't have to repeat a thing more than three times. Don't they know how much pressure we are all under? Rhetorical question has been added in order to give the flavor of all the stylistic features of journal writing. The sample is continued here. Oh, why don't you study more? You see, this is the question by the parents which they repeatedly ask from you. Or paro, why don't you study more? It just seems to roll off their tongues so easily. Revision has taken over my life. I barely even have time to fuel my body properly. You see, the word fuel my body adds flavor, adds emotive touch. What even is food? Another thing that really annoys me is the fact that everything comes down to one high stakes exam. Gone are the days of coursework. My grade is going to be decided by one exam. One exam that I don't feel remotely prepared for. I just wish teachers actually knew the pressures we were in. This is an example of development of idea. The content point was that my grade is going to be decided by one exam. And the development is here that one exam that I don't feel remotely prepared for. I just wish teachers actually knew the pressures we were in. This is how the points have to be developed. So let's look at the variety of techniques which have been used in the above sample. You can put a tick: repetition, hypophora, emotive language, rhetorical questions, variety of sentence structure, development of ideas. Example of development of idea is: my grade is going to be decided by one exam. Development is one exam that I don't feel remotely prepared for. I just wish teachers actually knew the pressure we were under. You see, the point has been exaggerated. The point has been further explained. Now you have to use the character's tone when you are writing the diary, because you might not be asked to write the diary in the sense that you are the character of the story. The character might be someone else, but you are writing the diary, you are writing it to yourself, so you have to imagine as if you are that character and you are writing a diary for yourself. So the language used in a diary is not always the same, since it will depend on the character, the person writing the diary. This is important because it will depend on the character, the person who is writing the diary. I have told you that in extended writing, you will not be yourself, you will be that character. So remember this. It would be strange for a diary to be extremely formal or academically written. It means that you don't have to use verbose expressions, as I have told you, until and unless you are a snobby university professor. Then you have to adopt the role and character and language of that professor. Otherwise, you will write it in the routine language that you very, very easily speak to yourself and communicate with your partners in the class, such kind of language. It's more common that you will be asked to write in a semi formal tone. That is very, very, you can say, expected, which means that you should write using correct spellings, correct grammar, and correct punctuation, and avoid slangs. This repetition of advice has been repeatedly made so that you don't make this mistake. Okay. Greetings and signs off. You will start your diary with date and then you will say, Dear Diary. Okay. Then at the end, you will write your name. Just name. Even if you don't write the surname, it does not matter because it's an informal piece of writing. Just as at the end of an informal letter, if you will just write your first name, it will not be considered a mistake. In the same way, at the end of the writing, at the end of the diary or a journal, you will write your names. Why will you use past tense and where you will use your past tense? When you are mentioning the events which have taken place, then obviously you will use past tense, just as in this sentence, he stole my bag and ran away. But when you are describing current feelings and reflections on those events, then you can use present tense, just as in this sentence. I think he is a jerk. I think he is trying to confuse me. I think he is trying to be clever. So in the middle way, you can do this technique of shifting from past to present, but don't overdo it because it will again spoil your language, your expression, your tenses will be disturbed. The tone should be confessional because as if you are telling secrets, you are in an emotional mood and you are sharing your personal emotions that your character might not normally admit, but with the diary he is admitting. So this will be a great point for development of ideas. You see, sometimes you don't say something, but you express it indirectly, which you can judge from the expressions of that person. So when you will write diary, so you will confess that inner feeling onto the piece of paper. This is the basic purpose of journal writing. And this will be achieved very, you can say, easily and accurately in the heading of extended writing, where the third bullet point and also the other points have to be developed. Example, look at the example. I would never admit this to anyone, but secretly, I must say that I felt rather. I tried my best not to show how I felt. So diaries are not stories. So please don't try add a plot, don't try dialogues, don't add the features of narrative essay into your diary. They are, you can say, true pieces of writing. So you don't have to add the features of narrative into it. Avoid using dialogues. Why you don't have to use dialogues? Because obviously this is not a narrative essay. Since we can't remember, also we can't remember exactly what the other person said. Later on, we forget what did he say. So this is an example of what someone said and how you communicate, how you will communicate it indirectly in your answer. Will you come over here, please, Emma? I would like to talk to you about something. This was the original dialogue of Mrs. Alina. But how you will convert it into your own words, and in the indirect speech you will say, Mrs. Anina asked me to come over to her since there was something she wanted to talk to me about. So you have changed the direct speech into indirect speech. What kind of punctuation marks are recommended to be used in journal writing? Number one, exclamation mark. Number one, exclamation mark. You can also use ellipses, meaning dot, 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 the three dots, just as they have been written over here. These are ellipses, three dots. Well, comma, I didn't know, short forms, because semi-formal tone is used. I didn't know what to do in that situation. Dash, dash, dash. I never do. I couldn't believe my eyes! Exclamation mark. So these are the punctuation marks that you have to use in specifically in journal writing. In other types, informal letter, you can also use that. Few diary phrases. Today was quite an adventure. Dear diary, I can't help but feel it's been on my mind lately. I will never forget the moment when I've been struggling with and I'm at a crossroads. You see, idiomatic expression and at the same time talking to yourself. This can be a very, very useful expression, especially when you are confused about two things, whether to do this or whether to do that. So you express it in a diary, and while talking to yourself, you make up the mind. In my heart, I know that I'm proud of myself for today. I made a promise to myself. I am blessed to have. This experience has shown me I'm starting to see the bigger picture. So you see that this is how some of the expressions of diaries are used. This is all from my side regarding journal writing. Briefly, I can tell you that this is the easiest type in the sense that excessively formal language is not required. Even the text will not be very, very difficult. And you have to imagine as if you are talking to yourself, you are secretly sharing some point with yourself. Even if the question asks you to be some character, that character will write the diary to himself. This is what you have to keep in mind. And I will be sharing one more sample after this video, which you are going to read and revise. My best wishes are there for you, for your future guidance, for your future prospects. Allah Hafiz, stay blessed.